Listen up, sports fans. Your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back for our 28th year of NFL action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers our members the opportunity to cash in on all your favorite sports, including NFL, NBA, MLB, and more. We've also got hundreds of new casino games, including the coolest new European slots, and our live dealers are waiting for you at the table. Sign up at BetUS.com today to get into the action. BetUS, where the game begins.
This episode of the Darion Hopkins Sports Show is sponsored by SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the #1 platform to browse, discover, and experience best events in town, all in the palm of your hand. From heart-pounding concerts that can make you dance to nail-biting sports games that can keep you on the edge of your seat, SeatGeek has it all. From exclusive deals and personalized recommendations tailored just for you. Use the promo code DHopkins and get $20 off your first purchase. So join the movement. SeatGeek. Get up, get out, and get tickets. Oh shit. I'm sorry about that, y'all. I had the loop on. I do apologize for that. But what is going on, everybody? What is going on? It is your boy Darion, and we are live Friday, August 25th, 2023. We are definitely in the building here for another episode of not even Nothing But Raiders podcast, but the Darion Hopkins Sports Show, We're definitely in the building for it, man. I am your host, Darion, of the Darion Hopkins Sports Show. We have a few people in the building early so far, man. Shout out to Snowman, Aiden Harper, Anthony Estrada, Chaos Raider. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat, man. Hopefully, y'all stick around and be a part of a great episode. Hopefully, we'll get my co-hosts here. They are running late. They did get off at 5:00, but I wanted to start it a little bit more, man. Remember me, D-Hop? Yeah, I remember you. I think I remember you if I'm not mistaken. But we have a lot to go over today. A lot of things happened yesterday. A lot of things happened today. But we are here and we are live, ladies and gentlemen. We are live, and thank y'all so much for tuning in to everything that's been going on with me behind the scenes and stuff of that nature. But we're here to talk about sports. That's what we're here to do. We're here to talk about sports. But before we get into anything of that, we are live on Facebook. We are live on Twitch. We are live on YouTube. We are live, ladies and gentlemen, all over. So make sure y'all go follow me on Twitch, because I will be doing the play-by-play and reactions of Monday night, Sunday night, and Thursday night football on that platform. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I will not be doing my live play-by-plays and reactions on this actual channel. So with that being said, I'm going to put it in the chat right here for y'all to subscribe to the Twitch, which is at DhopkinsShow. So make sure y'all go check it out there. I will come back to YouTube when it comes to that once I get back into the YouTube partner program. But I do need y'all to go over and follow me on Twitch at DHopkinsShow, Instagram at DHopkinsShow, YouTube at DHopkinsShow, any platform from TikTok and all of that, DHopkinsShow. Absolutely, y'all. Absolutely. And make sure y'all go check out SeatGeek if you want to go to a wrestling event. You want to go to NBA games, college games. College football is literally around the corner. If you want to go there, make sure you use the promo code DHopkins and get $20 off your first purchase. $20 off your first purchase. You don't want to miss that, ladies and gentlemen. You do not want to miss that. But we are here and we are live, man. And I want to get down to the nitty gritty of things because we had some shocking news yesterday. We had some absolute shocking news yesterday. And as a wrestling fan, it really hurt me to the core. It really hurt me to the core. And, Bray Wyatt, man, I don't even know where to start with Bray Wyatt, man. I don't know where to start. One of my favorite characters, man, was close to it. Reminded me of The Undertaker in his own way. And I loved it. I loved everything that he did. I mean, I didn't like the Firefly house when he changed it to the little, weirdo of him. But Bray Wyatt, dies at 36. He was a year younger than me. So the professional wrestler Windam Rotunda, known as the ring name of Bray Wyatt, died Thursday at the age of 36. Now, the news was shared by the retired professional wrestler and WWE executive Triple H, and he states that we received a call from WWE Hall of Famer Mike Rotunda, who informed us of the tragic news of our family member for the life of Windam Rotunda, also known as Bray Wyatt, unexpectedly passed away earlier today, which was considered yesterday. Our thoughts are with his family, and we ask everyone for his respect and privacy of his family. Yeah, this really broke my heart, man. And the cause of death has not been revealed, but Wyatt had not wrestled since defeating LA Knight at the Royal Rumble in January, and he has been sidelined for several months by a career and life-threatening illness, according to reports of Fightful Select and Wrestling Incorporated. Now, following the footsteps of his grandfather, Blackjack Mulligan, and his grandfather, Blackjack Mulligan, and his father, Mike Rotunda, Wyatt was a 3-time WWE World Champion. Wyatt held the WWE Championship and 2 Universal Championships. He also was a member of the 2 championship tag teams, which was Raw and SmackDown. But having him be a part of WWE ever since 2009. Wyatt was one of the best to know over the past 4 years for his gimmicks and evolved during, the ring personalities known as Bray Wyatt and The Fiend. I can say that. So members of the WWE community, included The Rock, Alexa Bliss, expressed their shocking grief over, Bray Wyatt's death. And I have to say, from what I'm seeing here, man, even AEW gave their condolences to Bray Wyatt. And it's just crazy to see that, because AEW is in competition with WWE. Bray Wyatt didn't have everybody knew that rumors that, if Bray Wyatt don't re-sign his contract, he might be going to AEW. But he didn't go to AEW. He stayed in WWE. And the fact that AEW put out a post saying RIP to him, I thought that was the most genuine thing they could do, knowing that these two companies are clashing for ratings. They're clashing of who's the better promotion right now. And I love the fact that AEW did that. But I do have one of my favorite moments for me when it comes to Bray Wyatt was, it's a few of them. I can't go on and on about how I felt about Bray. I can't go on and on about the situation, but I'm not going to take a lot of y'all time when it comes to this topic. But I do have some favorite moments from Bray Wyatt. Even when he was in NXT, I liked him in NXT, but I think one of my favorites for me, when it was the Wyatt family versus the Shield. Now, when it comes to their WWE television, the Wyatt family was deliberately kept away with the other young trio of stars when it came down to NXT. And you got to think about it. They finally crossed paths in 2014 with the Elimination Chamber, and they did just that. One of the best 6-man tag matches in WWE history, with Wyatt and Harper and Rowan. And now, Wyatt and Harper is finally back together in heaven. And it just to see this happen a couple years ago with Harper going down, aka Brody Clay. SmackDown tonight or this week is a tribute to Bray. It might be a tribute to Bray, and it might just be SmackDown. They didn't say nothing about it, but the show must go on. And I think if they don't do a tribute tonight, I'm going to be mad at WWE. I'm going to be mad. But I want to get back to my moments real quick. With Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose and the Shield versus the Wyatt family back in 2014. Another great moment for me when they had one of the best 6-man tag team matches of all time when it comes to that match in itself. Now, Boston Sports Report, what's going on? Boston Sports Report, thank you for tuning in. Chaos Radio, thank you for tuning in. And when it comes to Bray Wyatt, one of mine's WrestleMania 30 versus John Cena, when they demolished John Cena, but that was one hell of a match. And that was WrestleMania 30, but for me, it was the WWE Championship where he won in 2017 at Elimination Chamber. One of my favorites, man. One of my favorites. What's going on, Arthur Duff? Yeah, I'm ready for college football. I will be doing college football tomorrow. Notre Dame versus Navy at 2:30. That game will be right here on the Darion Hopkins Sports Show. So make sure y'all tune into that for college football tomorrow. But when it comes to Bray Wyatt winning the Elimination Chamber, winning the WWE Championship in 2017, it was an upper echelon of WWE superstars. That's despite the competition. When it comes to recognizable stars, a consistent bias, but had no championships to speak of. Mind you, you had AJ Styles in there. You had John Cena. You had The Miz. You had Dean Ambrose and Baron Corbin all going for that WWE Championship, and Bray Wyatt was the one able to come out of that. And I can't be mad at it. I can't be mad at it, man. So Bray Wyatt has so many memories. Even when The Fiend debuted, I thought that was one of the scariest characters outside of The Undertaker. I don't think nobody had a scarier character outside of, when it comes to we all know Undertaker is the top-notch guy. We know that. We know that he's the top-notch guy. We know that he's the guy when it comes to scaring people in mind games and stuff of that nature. We know that. But Bray Wyatt was the second best to do it. And y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like Bray Wyatt was the second best to do it outside of playing mind games, having the scary characters, scaring the little kids. I love that. I just didn't like the flip flop of him going to the fairy fly house or whatever that was. So hold up, give me 1 second here. Just trying to fix this up real quick. I'm sorry, but when it comes to Bray Wyatt, man, it's just that he had COVID. He had a heart attack. That's what according to sources are saying. I do not know if that is true or not. Didn't Roman pin the Fiend to start the unrevealed championship ring? I think so, if I'm not mistaken. I think so. Don't get me to lying on that. I think it was him, but at the end of the day, it just sucks to see a guy like Bray Wyatt that has still so much potential, man. Has so much potential to be great in this industry. He had his grandfather, he had his father, then he had him. And the fact that he had COVID and had a heart attack, I am a testimony. I am a testimony of COVID. I had COVID about 2-3.5 years ago. And I was in the hospital for 14 days. It was really hard for me to be in the hospital and have COVID, and people understanding COVID is not a joke. And to me, COVID is still out there. It's not as bad as it used to be, but it's bad. It's not as bad as it used to be, but it's still out there, y'all. It's still out there. And for me to hear that it was COVID and he had a heart attack, I think it really hurts, in my opinion. I think it really hurts. So when it comes down to that, it's really shocking, man. It's really, really shocking to hear about Windam Rotunda, known his name as Bray Wyatt, died at the age of 36. I'm 37 years old. I just turned 37 in March. So like he's really like right there with me. Like he's like up there in age. You know what I'm saying? Even the Firefly Funhouse match with John Cena at WrestleMania, that was at WrestleMania 36. That's another moment that we had because it was so much stuff going on that I liked about Bray Wyatt. The homecoming of the Fiend, that was very, very different of him. But he was like one of the scariest characters that WWE had outside of The Undertaker, man. So, yeah. So RIP to Bray Wyatt and his family, and hopefully we wished him the best when it comes to that. So let's get on to the next topic, man. We definitely got to get on to these topics because it's a very it's hard. It really hurts me to see a guy like Bray Wyatt pass and the talent that he had. It just really hurts my soul to the core, man. It just really does. But I want to get into this next topic, man. I do want to get into football. And we know we had 2 preseason games last night. And those 2 preseason games was the Atlanta Falcons and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And you did have the Indianapolis Colts versus the Philadelphia Eagles. What did we learn in what biggest takeaways did we take from the Thursday night games in week 3? Now, as a wrestling fan, this is mind blowing. I keep hearing from the universe, oh, Bray returning to the Rumble. Oh, he's returning to WrestleMania. And then this happens. Yeah, he was on his return, bro. He was definitely on his return. But to get into it, man, to get into it for the NFL preseason, we got some biggest takeaways from the Thursday night games. Now, 2 approaches of the NFL preseason did exist. Now, either the coaching staff wanted their starting units on the field to take advantage of an opportunity to gain invaluable reps, or games that's viewed as a exposition game where their top performers don't need to play or have potential injuries going into the regular season of week 1. Now, as the third and final week of the 2023 preseason has began, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Indianapolis Colts wanted to see their starters to see what they can do. And on the other hand, the Atlanta Falcons and the Philadelphia Eagles didn't even use their starting units in this game. Now, evaluations of the rosters is difficult based on the decisions, but the Steelers and the Colts should be excited, particularly with now their offenses have performed. Now, Kenny Pickett preseason ends with a flawless play throughout 3 games, and Anthony Richardson with a dynamic behind center, even though he's a work in progress. Now, the Falcons and Eagles entered their respective competitions, with individuals trying to make these rosters. Now, as Tuesday's roster cuts definitely looms, here are the following some storylines you do need to take biggest takeaways from Thursday night's action. So let's get into it now. Kenny Pickett. Now, Kenny Pickett from the Pittsburgh Steelers, in this offense, they look like they in regular season form while Kenny Pickett is leading the way. Now, I don't know if y'all follow me on Instagram or anything of that nature, or on TikTok at the Darion Hopkins Show. I did put up a video of a pass from Kenny Pickett to George Pickens to get them down to the 1 yard line and score. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers found perfection in this offseason with their offense looked on the field 5 different occasions through 3 games and scored touchdowns on every single time. Now, during the Thursday's meeting with the Atlanta Falcons, the Pittsburgh first team offense piece, they did beautiful on these drives. An 8-play drive for 92 yards, the drive that followed a 3-play, 29 scoring series as a courtesy short on the field. Now, Kenny Pickett looked good. Last year's first round draft pick, 13 of 15, 199 yards and a pair of tosses. But most importantly, his command and the growing familiarity with the weapons within the Steelers. You have Deontay Johnson, you have Najee Harris, and then you got George Pickens. This Pittsburgh team, you really have to look out for in that AFC North. Knowing that AFC North has Lamar Jackson, it has Deshaun Watson, and it has so Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and Deshaun Watson. I'm sorry, got a brain fart. But the Steelers can't look at Pickett to be a difference maker, but his execution in his scheme will determine how successful Pittsburgh can be. So definitely take a look at it, because they got Calvin Austin III, Najee Harris with Jalen Warren at the running back position, George Pickens and Deontay Johnson. There are some underrated receivers in the league as of right now. Now, the next one that I do have is the Falcons rookie, DeMarco Hellams. Now, DeMarco Hellams continues to show up as a great rookie that came out of Alabama, and he should be in the lineup for the Atlanta Falcons. So he's definitely in a crowded defensive backfield with Jeff Okudah and Jesse Bates and these guys coming over. I completely understand it. But this guy was the 227th overall pick in this year's draft, and he shows that he's ready to play at the professional level, making 8 tackles Thursday night against Pittsburgh. Now, 6 days earlier, he did defend a pair of passes and nabbed the interception against the Cincinnati Bengals as well. Now, the Falcons did not choose to play their starters throughout majority of this preseason, but Hellams definitely took advantage playing, and he showed up and he showed out, and the coaches definitely noticed. Arthur Smith told reporters Friday night, stating that meeting with the Bengals, he continues to find the football. He's a good football player. Where he continues to work on some other things, it's a good pattern, and he has 2 weeks in a row, which he did, going to get the football. So I think hopefully he makes the football team, but he does come from a championship pedigree in Alabama. So that's another takeaway that you really have to look at in this situation. Speaking of Anthony Richardson that you said, Eaton, speaking of Anthony Richardson, you stated this, that he was an off-brand Lamar, if anyone can agree. I don't think he's a brand off Lamar. I definitely disagree with that when it comes to Anthony Richardson. I don't think he's a brand off Lamar. I think Anthony Richardson actually have an arm to throw. That's just me. That's just my personal. I think he has an arm to throw. I think he has the pocket presence. He just runs when he needs to, or they give him a ways of him running. Now, it's a little different with Lamar Jackson, because I know Mac's going to come on here and defend that as much as he talks about his Baltimore Ravens so much, as much as he talk about his Baltimore Ravens. But at the same time, I'm still saying it as this. Lamar Jackson and Anthony Richardson are 2 different types Two different types of quarterbacks. But I think he's a rookie. He's a rookie. He's going to develop under that Shane Steichen. Shane Steichen, look what he did with Jalen Hurts last year as the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. So let's not do that. I mean, if let's not do that, y'all. Come on. He 6 of 17 passes for 78 yards. He's a rookie. He's a rookie. He still has a lot of mechanics that he still has to work on. And the difference between that is that we should have been saying that about Lamar and not talk about mechanics no more with Lamar. That's the difference. We're still talking about mechanics with Lamar Jackson. We could talk about development of mechanics with Anthony Richardson because Anthony Richardson is a rookie and he has to grow. Now, Shane Steichen, you see what he did with with Jalen Hurts with the Philadelphia Eagles, made him look better. Made him look absolutely better. It did. It did. If you look at the year progression from 2021 to 2022, and you see that progression, you see the completion percentage went up, the yards went up, the touchdowns went up, the touchdown interception ratio went up. So when it comes to saying that, I don't think you could compare him to Lamar. I don't think you could compare him to Lamar in that situation. But we do have my guy here. VDS Satellite, and he finally got off of work. My boy, No Mercy Sports. What's going on, my brother? What's up with you?
What it do, baby? I mean, like I said, I just got off work. I know I'm a little late to the show, but hey, traffic here in Texas is something else, man.
No, it's all good. It's all good. We'll get back around to the Bray Wyatt situation because I already talked about it. But I was talking about Anthony Richardson, and we were talking about the takeaways from Thursday Night Football. Oh. Now, Aiden Harper was saying that Richardson is a off-brand of Lamar Jackson. I have to disagree. And the only reason why I disagree because Lamar Jackson, we're still talking about his mechanics and how many years he's been in the league.
Yeah, absolutely.
We shouldn't be talking about his mechanics at this level, even though he's an MVP quarterback.
Right.
But Anthony Richardson is a raw talent coming out of Florida. He was raw. So to see him play and be scramble the way he scrambled, I don't think he's an off-brand of Lamar. I just think they don't set up run plays all the time just for Anthony Richardson. They do it when it's needed. But the Colts is a type of team where they have Michael Pittman, they have Anthony, I think his name Anthony Pierce, if I'm not mistaken, Adam Pierce, one of them. Anthony Pierce, like is
one of the two.
It's one of the two. But even though Jonathan Taylor, we don't know what's going to go on with him.
Please go to Chicago.
But I mean, I just felt like he played all right last night against Philadelphia. Yeah. So what's your thoughts on it? What's your thoughts on how Anthony Richardson looked?
So I think for me, like, granted, preseason is preseason. I mean, if you're like a big fan of it, you might as well just say you're a big fan of JV high school football and everything like that. Right. But also, it's definitely a time for newly drafted rookies like Anthony Richardson, for example, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Will Anderson Jr., all those guys to step up, really try to earn that starting position role and say like, hey, you took a risk on me. I'm going to show you that I'm worth the investment. But I mean, when you look at his highlights from Florida, it's just it's like a 15-minute video. So to me, I would say Anthony Richardson, he was, in my opinion, what I think Cam Newton would have been if he got the chance to be the starting quarterback at Florida.
Right.
So now, don't get me wrong, Cam Newton, one of the best college quarterbacks there to ever grace the field. I mean, he was just a different breed. But Anthony Richardson, like I said, I think he would have been what Cam Newton would have been had he gotten a starting position at Florida. But I mean, it is what it is. Preseason is preseason. I think he'll have somewhat of the same road that Newton did when he first came into the league. Like, he'll really shine, but there's also going to be some discrepancies that'll be like, hey, was he worth the pick? Was he worth this? Was he worth it? But it's also like, he's just a kid. Give him another year or two to develop. Let's see what he's really going to be made of.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, I'm gonna say this, and people might not like this, and people might not agree with this, but it reminds me of more of a Marcus Mariota with Anthony Richardson.
I can see that.
But the arm is better with Anthony Richardson than it is with Marcus Mariota.
Right.
Now, and I understand that you say Lamar has bad accuracy. Anthony Richardson has bad accuracy. Mm-hmm. Accuracy can be taught. The fact that we're talking about a Lamar Jackson, an MVP quarterback, having bad accuracy, and you're comparing to him or Anthony Richardson, that's bad right now.
I mean, Lamar ended a dude's life in Cincinnati with that spin move. Let's be real.
Right.
Like, Anthony Richardson, he's just coming into the league. We don't know what this kid is made of other than a 15-minute YouTube video of what his highlights really showed what he could do at Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm excited for the Colts because they got this quarterback, and I'm excited to see what they could do. But then again, there's also the whole Jonathan Taylor thing going on. But nonetheless, football is starting very soon, and I couldn't be more excited.
Exactly. So, some other takeaways that I wanted to talk about I just recently talked about Pittsburgh. Now, Pittsburgh looked good last night. I'm not going to even lie. Kenny Pickett looked like, I'm telling you now, if I am the Baltimore Ravens, if I am the Cleveland Browns, and I am the Cincinnati Bengals, you do not overlook the Pittsburgh Steelers. They did not care if that second unit was in last night, but Pickett balled out. When I tell you he had almost 200 passing yards, I think what he had, let me just double check. He was 13 of 15 for 199 and 2 touchdowns at that time. And then he had a big, I don't know if you saw on the TikTok where the George Pickens catch that he had last night.
Oh, yeah. He did the ballerina toe touch.
But right before that, he threw a nice ball to Deontay Johnson down the sideline. Then you got a Najee Harris with Jaylen Warren. Watch out for the Pittsburgh Steelers, man.
Yep. I said it before, and I will say it again. If you look up the definition of consistency in the dictionary, you are going to see a picture of Mike Tomlin. This Steelers team is young. They are going to be hungry. The AFC North is going to be put on fucking notice this year. Well, everybody except for Cleveland, though. I like they've sucked for so long. I have no hopes for them whatsoever, even with Deshaun Watson under center.
Right. And another one I really want to look at is Trey Sermon. Now, he looked really good for the Philadelphia Eagles, even though he's a former running back for Ohio State. But injuries really plagued him from being a starter in his league. But he had a nice showing last night. And I know he's not going to make this football team in itself, because if you look at the running backs that they have with DeAndre Swift and Kenneth Gainwell and Boston Scott,
Rashad
Penny, you're not going to make this roster if you're Trey Sermon. I mean, he did have 20 carries against the Colts. He did have a touchdown. But the thing is, he's only 24 years old, and the injuries killed him so badly. We know when he got hurt in I think it was the national championship game when he was in, not the recent one, but there was I don't know if it was a national championship or a bowl game that was in that Trey Sermon missed because of injury.
Oh man.
And made his draft status drop so badly and got in the league, and he did not. He could not stay on a football team because he stayed hurt. Actually, it was San Francisco that drafted him. If I'm not mistaken, it was San Francisco that drafted him, and he just couldn't stay healthy. But so I think he put on a showcase for him to make a squad, hopefully a practice squad or a team that actually needs a running back.
Yeah.
So with Trey Sermon, when it comes to that, I'm gonna just let it be known, man. But
like I said, preseason is a time for like the 3rd, 4th, 5th, even sixth string guys to show out. And honestly, like the way that he played, hopefully he did enough for the Eagles coaches to be like, hey, we should probably add this guy to our running back rotation. We already have a four-headed monster right now. Wouldn't be bad to add a fifth one, assuming he stays healthy. That is the biggest thing.
And we have my other co-host via satellite all the way from Baltimore. I don't know where he went just now, but oh, look at the doggy. And we got Matt.
Look at that Baltimore background, baby. The Orioles fighting for the best record in baseball right now. Unheard of.
What's going on, Mac? What's up with you?
What's up, brother? What's up? I got
nothing, man. No, we just got through two of the topics, but I want to swing back around. I don't know if Mac, you knew who Bray Wyatt was, right?
I know.
Okay, but
I literally just talked about him the other day.
Right.
We just talked about the most intriguing guys that's out there that has a mouthpiece.
Yep.
Now, I want to know if y'all agree with, because I said this earlier, right before y'all got on. I said when it comes to a character, nobody else has a scary character than Bray Wyatt outside of The Undertaker. To me, it's Undertaker or Bray Wyatt. That's the 1-2 when it comes to scaring kids, mind games, all types of shit. When it comes to that, I don't think nobody outside of Undertaker and Bray Wyatt has a better character than that.
Bro,
I mean,
sorry, man.
You can tell me somebody that played mind games better than them.
Okay, so Jake the Snake, he scared the shit out of a lot of people.
Yeah, but he wasn't demon like the Fiend and that black and purple Undertaker that scared kids. Jake the Snake only scared kids with an animal. We're talking about a full character that made it so realistic. That listen, as a kid, I used to be scared of the Undertaker. And the Fiend was one of those guys.
You had Mankind,
very, very debatable two characters that could really stand up to Bray Wyatt. But I'm gonna just say this: at WrestleMania 31, when Bray Wyatt did that whole
Sabu
exorcism, fucking
Sabu
walking,
the shit out of everybody.
Sabu? What?
You don't remember Sabu?
I remember Sabu, but he wasn't scared.
He was
with them kendo sticks. Man, that man was fucking.
We're talking about
he was a high flyer.
Yes, agreed. He was a high flyer.
I mean, the persona is what I'm talking about. The evil, the bad guy.
I'm just saying character when it comes to mind games. Like you could put 1, 2, and 3, probably Undertaker, Kane, Bray. You could put it any ways you want it, Undertaker's number 1. But you could debate Kane and Bray Wyatt. If you look at their characters, their characters were so realistic, it made you scared of them. Like, holy shit. Like, whoa, wait a minute. Like
I said, when Bray Wyatt was doing that whole exorcism walk towards the Undertaker at WrestleMania 31, I couldn't disagree with Michael Cole when he was like, that indeed is the new face of fear. That wasn't until Undertaker sat up.
Right.
It's like, it's your time, but not yet, young man. Not yet.
It was only a few moments that I picked out real quick, and I want to know if y'all agree with me here. So the Wyatt family versus the Shield, that one of the greatest 6-man tag team matches of all time. One of the greatest.
I was gonna say that was one of, if not the best team rivalries of the modern day.
Yeah. Bray Wyatt and the Shield, they was definitely one of those three. Those fractions was really good.
Especially when they squared off in England.
What's his name? Brody and Rowan. Those two.
Luke Harper and Luke Harper, Rowan, and Braun Strowman. That's when they added Braun Strowman.
No, I'm just talking about Harper and Rowan as a tag team. When they when they came back in, they demolished everybody.
That was a
they
good
were on
gimmick
a
for them.
Mean ass role. And I fucking loved them in it. And
that was a great fucking gimmick for them.
And you know what? You know who had one of the best feuds with Bray Wyatt? People could say a lot, but I think Randy Orton had one of the best feuds with Bray Wyatt. I think he did because, remember, he joined the Wyatt family, turned on the Wyatt family, burned down the house. I thought that was a great storyline. But my number one moment is when he won at Elimination Chamber for the WWE Championship in 2017.
That phenomenal forearm to Sister Abigail.
Yes.
Unmatched.
Yes.
Unmatched.
It was one of the best matches I've saw from Elimination Chamber when it comes for a WWE Championship.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate that this happened. They saying that it was COVID and a heart attack. I don't know. I don't want to put speculations out there, but damn, man, he was 1 year younger than me. Like, I just feel some kind of way about that. Like, 36, man. He was making his return soon. That's the crazy part.
I don't want to get negative, but I feel like his rivalry with LA Knight really launched LA Knight with the WWE universe. But for me, his top 3 rivalries, in my opinion, number 1 is the Wyatt family versus the Shield.
Yeah.
I will fight tooth and nail against that. Number 2 and number 3, it could go either way. You got Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt, and then you got Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt.
Yes.
Oh, that was so when Matt Hardy came back with the whole delete persona.
Yeah.
And Bray Wyatt was thrown. Oh my God. Those two made it work so well.
So just, he was a 3-time WWE champion. He was a 2-time tag team champion. I think I don't know if he won anything in NXT, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember him winning anything in NXT, but I mean, his characters are just so iconic to me.
His skills on the mic,
and Sister Abigail, and that whole narrative, that whole story, the way it came out, it was
Didn't he have a rivalry with Finn Balor too?
Yeah, when he was the Fiend.
I remember seeing that. That's what I remember. That's the last big segment of Bray Wyatt that I remember.
Yeah.
And I gotta give AEW their respect too, because they even mentioned, Bray Wyatt on their social media as well. And I was just saying this earlier on the show that even though AEW and WWE are 2 companies that are battling for ratings, they're battling to see who has the better promotion, but they still they still came together knowing that Bray Wyatt was a WWE guy, he was an AEW guy, but they still showed their condolences. And I think they did that because of, when Luke Harper, aka Brody.
I was just about to say, I think AEW put it out there because they had Luke Harper / Brody Lee as part of their promotion. And those two with the Wyatt family, there's the connection right there. And I mean, it sucks that he did pass away, but when 2 companies come together and just give the honorable mention to one guy, it's more than just a sport,
Right.
I mean, you got to figure though, he was a 2nd generation wrestler that
actually third generation. His grandfather, his father did him. Yeah.
But anyway, right? Multi-generation family wrestler. Right, started in the indie circuit. Didn't even get a big push from his people. He worked his way up.
Yep.
And that, that's why I respected him. He took made his own finishing move. He me personally, that's why I don't like a lot of the wrestlers. That's why I fell out of it, because I got tired of seeing the same finishers, the same guys win.
Yep. No, I agree. And I mean, my man Darion here, we watched SummerSlam, and it was just really entertaining to see LA Knight get the win on the 25-man battle royal. And granted, it's his finisher is essentially a combination of the Stone Cold Stunner and RKO. He does a kick to the midsection like the Stone Cold Stunner, but does a grabbing face plant
Yeah,
it looks like a face planting RKO.
Or a diamond cutter.
Matches.
That's it.
I wasn't a like I don't know. He can wrestle nice. I guess it's the character look that I'm not really like.
Oh, I love his character. I love
Yo,
it.
yo,
I mean,
James loves LA Knight, man. That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
is the new what?
He's winning, but he's winning the crowd over though, so that's a good thing.
I
He's winning the
swear
crowd
to
over.
God, this rivalry with the Miz is going to be epic.
Just imagine if Max Guy, MJF, with the Miz and LA Knight, all three on the mic. You know how epic that would be as a triple threat match? Just imagine if just MJF was in WWE. Like those three on the mic. Hella promo.
So
hey, Hawkeye said it best. Don't get my hopes up.
I mean,
that would be a showdown.
I don't know why. And I know you guys are about to be like, what? I just don't like LA Knight. I just don't like him. I just don't. He gives me the same. He gives me the Miz vibes. It's the same reason why I didn't like Miz. Like I like Miz, his backstory, how far he came, the shit he did. I liked his story. I liked him as a bad guy, but I would never root for the Miz. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of them guys that's just like.
You know when I started to respect the Miz when he beat Cena at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I respect him. That's why I started to respect him as a wrestler,
so
not just as or not even just that. James, when he had his first second reigns of Intercontinental Champion.
Like honestly, he is definitely up there as top 5 Intercontinental Champion.
The crazy thing is, listen.
Agreed.
To me, the Miz best matches, he didn't win. He lost those matches. His best matches. I'm sorry. I'll say that it was probably I want to say in probably 2015 to like 2018, 2019. The matches that I've seen of him losing and giving the other guy the push. I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody says. I've backyard wrestled when I was younger and I was stupid. Okay?
Who did it?
Listen. It's just like the simple fact is to make your opponent look good, you have to work. You have to work. If you dead fish somebody like Goldberg used to do, motherfuckers. Like, bro, it's going to be a horrible match. It's going to look like a shit show. Yep. You know what I mean? You have to sell the other person. That's what I'm saying. So that's where
even somebody like Dolph Ziggler does an amazing job at that. Like he even said, like with this Chris Van Vliet dude on TikTok, he said in an interview, like you could put me in a match with a young up and coming guy in a indie promotion or anything like that. I guarantee you, we're going to steal the show. No other match is going to compare to the match that we have throughout the rest of the night.
I mean, look, my whole thing is, I don't know what the fuck the WWE was doing. Bro, you could have had him be an Intercontinental Champion for fucking like 5-8 years.
Yep.
Every couple
years. Or you talk about Dolph Ziggler?
Yeah, Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler was the shit. Bro, if it wasn't for his championship aspirations, because I remember this in the early 2010s, right? He had bigger championship aspirations, and I feel like if he would have just honed his role and he would have been content, and he would have been like, bro, he could have been one of the greatest Intercontinental champions ever.
And that's called bad booking because when he was the world heavyweight champion, they didn't book him correctly. So that's on WWE's fault. You put the title.
Hang on.
You knew that was gonna happen. You knew it was gonna
That's
happen.
on Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon is obsessed.
It's bad booking.
With certain type of people. My whole thing is Vince doesn't want to put a certain type of guy in the ring to lose to him. And that's what it was. So where are your top tier matches? Well, Vince McMahon's not going to give him a top tier match because he doesn't want to make one of his other big name guys look bad by losing to Dolph.
But this is what makes me mad about Vince. You can find the talent because Dolph Ziggler was a main event talent.
Yes.
You did not want him to put him up against the best of the best. You know how great in-ring performing that Dolph Ziggler is. Like that's the problem with Vince. When it comes to in-ring,
sold Goldberg at SummerSlam,
bruh. I'm just saying, if you can respect Shawn Michaels and put the strap on him multiple times, why? But again, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I was him, I would have, my ass would have been the greatest Intercontinental champion ever.
Vince bet, like literally to quote LA Knight, this company bet on so many horses. Unfortunately, what he said to them was actually kind of right. Anyways, Vince bet on so many people to be the next top guy that it failed fucking miserably. Mm-hmm. And then you go and watch NXT and what Triple H and Shawn Michaels are doing. They're creating real stories. Like, they were essentially what Paul Heyman was doing with SmackDown in the early 2000s. Yeah. He was catering to the fans. He was creating real storylines. He saw guys like Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, like, oh, you got potential. You got potential. You damn sure got potential. We're going to put you on the scene. Vince is just like, yeah, you got potential. Oh, you can't wrestle? I'm going to bury you.
Well, I mean, we got a 16-time world champion in John Cena that only got 5 moves as a wrestler. I'm just saying.
I mean,
he's a great character. He's a great person that could talk on the mic. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's okay in the ring, but
yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of wrestlers that had to carry him through the matches. Edge is one of them. So,
I was gonna say, 2005, 2006, Edge and John Cena was a modern day 2000s version of The Rock and Stone Cold.
Right.
And
it was a very personal rivalry.
Like Edge said, it was the rock star versus the hip hop guy, and rock and hip hop they
really don't go hand in hand.
Exactly.
It does, but it doesn't. You know, with the whole Run DMC and Aerosmith thing. But other than that, don't really go hand in hand.
They made it work though.
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
they definitely made it work. But I want to get over to some baseball real quick because I definitely want to talk about Shane Ohtani. Now, Shane Ohtani, this guy is still playing in the lineup with a UCL tear. And how is this going to affect him in free agency? How is it going to affect the Angels' future? Do y'all think he should even be playing with this UCL tear?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, is it his pitching arm, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he bats lefty, but he pitches righty. Like literally me.
So what it is listen. So Ohtani is a pull hitter, right?
Right.
So when he pushes, it's not going to affect so much. You know what I'm saying? It's not an overhand motion. It's a under. It's an under. You know what I'm saying? The under.
Oh, like Chad Bradford from the Oakland A's in Moneyball. Like, he had that weird-ass pitching style where he, like, the ball almost came in contact with the ground, but he made it work.
No, okay. But what I'm saying is, right, with the injury, overhand, like moving overhand, overside, that's the motion that's going to hurt you. You can't do that motion.
Yeah.
So swinging the bat, no problem.
Yep.
So,
especially when you're a left-handed batter,
you should be in the batting lineup and don't pitch and just don't pitch at all. Because I think for me, if I even know that his throwing motion is a little bit different, but do I want to do anything to try to make it even worse? If it's not going to hurt doing batting, I mean, I'd just rather bat and not pitch for real.
But that's what he's going to do. That's why he's still in the lineup.
Okay.
Yep. He's the designated hitter. He ain't playing the outfield, boss. I promise you that. He's a fucking pitcher.
they might keep him in the lineup as far as like putting him like in the outfield somewhere, but
no, he's a designated hitter. That's it.
Oh, he's just a designated hitter. So yeah, I think by the end of the season, especially the Angels, they're gonna make the playoffs. He go get that surgery. If he comes back 100%, I think everything's still gonna be the same. I think ESPN panicked a little bit too quickly when they first heard about it. And when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, snaps.
Don't get it twisted. This is a huge injury for his
pitching
career. For his pitching
career. As far as pitching wise, yeah.
I mean, the dude's already had Tommy John surgery in the past.
Right. And that's what they said when I read the article too. He had it back in 2018 where he had that surgery. Speaking
so for me, what that means is he's more than likely got a 6-year cap on pitching. He might not make it past 6 more years of pitching, but I can guarantee you he's going to bat for another 10 fucking years. Easy. He'll play till he's 38, and he's still going to be a damn good fucking hitter. Look at Ichiro. Ichiro fucking hit.
Yes,
he was just about to say.
Here's the power Ohtani has.
I was just about to say, homeboy needs to look up Ichiro in the phone book and get his walk program.
Look up the videos every time Shohei Ohtani runs into him, takes his hat off and tries to bow to him, and Ichiro will try to run away from him so he doesn't have to give him respect.
Oh,
it's a respect thing. I mean, come on.
True.
Ichiro was him.
Yeah, he was him.
He was a baseball version of Bruce Lee. Let's be honest. That man focused more on technique than he did on power.
Agreed. Speaking of another pitcher from the Padres, Robert Suarez is going to be suspended for 10 games after ejection of foreign substance, ladies and gentlemen. So it says that according to Joe Heyman of the New York Post, that he was ejected from Wednesday's game against the Miami Marlins following the inspection from the umpires. So I guess they had a substance check. It's a video on Twitter of a Bleacher Report walk-off having a video of them doing the actual inspection. So Bob Nightingale of the USA Today reported that the relief pitcher is appealing and said that the sticky stuff the umpires discovered was just sunscreen. That's what they say. We deemed that it was too sticky, very sticky, and he was ejected from the game. The crew chief, Todd Techner, whatever his last name is, told reporters the following Wednesday, and Associated Press noted that Suarez is the 6th pitcher to be suspended with use of sticky substances since the major league put the new rules in place in June of 2021. What are your thoughts about this?
Stupid as shit. Have you ever touched a rosin bag? You sweat, wipe the sweat, you touch that rosin bag, that shit gets stickier than a motherfucker. Whether you wipe it off, no matter what you do, you're going to be sticky until you soap and water scrub that shit.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's asinine. Like, if you see an illegal substance, absolutely. But if it's just a little fucking sticky, like 3 times they kick people out of games just to turn around and say, oh, well, it was only rosin.
I mean, I'll agree to that, but at the same time, it's like, look, if it was sunscreen, I've been in San Diego before, because the game was in San Diego, right?
Yes, it was in San Diego.
I've been in San Diego. It is nothing but 65 degrees and sunny. You shouldn't need that much fucking sunscreen to protect yourself from the sun. I was there for a year and a half. Never once got fucking sunburned. Like, if you're trying to preach that it is sunscreen, you shouldn't need that much to where the umps are going to be like, hey, you're ejected because of a sticky substance. That is some stupid-ass bullshit.
Whew. I don't know too much about it. I mean, I just played first base back in the day, so I don't know nothing about it. I don't know nothing about that when it comes to a pitcher. I didn't pitch. I didn't do none of that. I just sat at first base. That was just my job, to make sure we get it out from the shortstop to second base to third base. We get that first out. That's what I did.
You know what yesterday was, right?
Kobe Bryant Day.
Yeah, it was definitely.
Yes, absolutely. Your RIP, Kobe. Yesterday was our 79th win. We eclipsed 78 fucking wins. Give me that money. $150. I made $150 off of $5.
I swear to God, the Orioles are just. Ooh, the AL East is definitely going to come down to the Orioles and the Tampa Bay Rays. It's not even close. Like, yeah, the Blue Jays are within shouting distance, but ultimately it's coming down to either the Orioles or the Rays. That is my prediction.
And if John Means gets elevated before the postseason, that could be scary.
I was going to say, what was it? I think the Orioles pitcher last night had 8 strikeouts through 8 innings or something like that.
That is crazy. But let's get it back into some NFL. Now, I know me and Mac talked about this earlier on the Wednesday show about Jonathan Taylor, but it's been a report that came out about the Indianapolis Colts denying that trade. I don't know why why is he dancing, yo?
What did I say? What did I say when it came to Miami? I do not want him to go to Miami. That team is too fucking good as it is. Fuck that.
But they still say they still in negotiations with the Indianapolis Colts, but the first offer was denied by the Indianapolis Colts. And I don't know what, according to the Miami Herald, Barry Jackson, he reported it saying that the Dolphins continue to engage negotiations for Jonathan Taylor, while the Broncos and the Chicago Bears are reportedly interested in the running back, Jackson said. Now, according to Jackson, the Colts want a first-round pick or something comparable in value in return for a Jonathan Taylor. Now, NFL teams required to get the rosters to the 53-man regular season roster limit by Tuesday, and according to ESPN's Stephen Holder, that also said this deadline that the Colts gave is suitable for a trade partner. Now, I don't know what was offered to Miami, but I was kind of surprised. I don't know why. I don't know what they offered the Colts, but I still feel like you're not going to get a first round pick for Jonathan Taylor. I just don't think that's going to happen. So I don't know what the Colts or the Broncos is offering, but I know Mac is happy that he got that offer rejected. I know he is ecstatic right now. Look at him. He is the happiest person alive when it comes to this. So, and James, he wants him to go to Chicago. Mac said,
"Hey, they got the cap space, man. They got the cap space
in the NFL. Anybody outside of the top contending AFC teams, anybody else, anybody can go NFC, he can go one of the bottom feeder AFC teams. I do not care.
I was gonna say, like, the 3 biggest locations that I saw on a post on Instagram, that it was like, oh, possible destinations for Jonathan Taylor. The Chicago Bears, which makes a whole lot of sense because they have DJ Moore. It might be a good idea for Chase Claypool to reinvent himself because towards the end of his time with Pittsburgh, he shit the bed. And I mean, and especially when you got the face of the franchise for that team being Justin Fields, dude, it's really time to reinvent yourself. I believe they have Khalil Herbert as their running back.
Yeah, they have Khalil Herbert because David Montgomery went to Detroit.
But yeah, no, Khalil Herbert and Jonathan Taylor, that is a dangerous backfield. And then on top of that, oh, I can't wait for that Justin Fields, DJ Moore connection. That is going to be one to watch this season.
I think the Bears are going to be very underrated this year, but
yeah, they're going to be the dark horse.
I think it really will help the Denver Broncos too, because I mean, Javonte Williams is good. Don't get me wrong, but he is coming off of an injury, and I think he still is injured if I'm not mistaken. So him and Jonathan Taylor and Javonte Williams would definitely be a good asset to Russell Wilson. But speaking of the Denver Broncos, another wide receiver goes down, and that's Jeudy that's going to be out for several weeks, knowing they don't have Hamler. They don't
We're
have
looking real good for you, buddy. Week 1 looking real good.
It's looking real beautiful for me.
Hey, y'all still got to go through the AFC East, and that is a stacked division.
Listen, I think
any win is a good win.
And listen, but this is my thing. How bad is this looking for Russell Wilson? Like, do they need to go out and find a wide receiver? Because you just had the one guy that had a heart condition. He probably can't play anymore. I forgot his name. I think it was Tim Hamler or something like that.
Oh,
but
Hamler.
Yeah, Tim Hamler. Yeah, it was somebody like that had a heart condition too. I think Cortland Sutton is still there, but I don't know any other weapons out. I mean, Noah Fant at tight end, but who else do they really got? How much do the Denver Broncos need to panic at right now? Because I'm ecstatic as a Raider fan. I can't wait for week 1.
To fucking panic. It doesn't matter if they brought in Sean Payton.
He ran.
The Broncos will still shit the bed.
Look what happened. Look what happened now.
Wait, say it again, man.
You talked all that shit about Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Rodgers' coach, and now look at you. Now look at you. Got no wide receivers. Your shit's falling apart. It's going to be blame. But actually,
Nathaniel Hackett and Russell Wilson really had us convinced that the Broncos were going to be the second best team in the AFC West to compete against the Chiefs, and they shit the fucking bed. It ain't even close.
Oh, it feels good to talk so beautifully about the donkeys.
The perfect
so good
example was opening night against the Seahawks, and they had one of the dumbest sessions of clock management I have ever seen in my entire life. I know Peyton gets pissed a lot, on some occasions. One of the few being like him getting in Jeff Saturday's face, like, hey, just snap the fucking ball, do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. But in that game, that was probably the second time I have seen him that aggravated, that upset, that pissed off. I have never seen that side of Peyton Manning during the entirety of his career in the NFL.
I try to see. I wanted to feel bad, but hell no.
I wanted to feel bad too, but no.
Listen to me. When Joe Burrow went down, I was like, How long, baby? How long? Listen to me.
Yeah, but Joe Shiesty and the Bengals going to win the AFC North, baby. Yeah.
That's not happening.
We're going to come back to this episode. We're going to come back to this episode.
Listen to me. Listen, you know what pisses me off? The betting right now. To bet on the Ravens to win the AFC North, right? It's not even 100-point spread between us and the Bengals. But yet every commentator, everybody want to talk shit about, Bengals going to run it. Oh, Ravens are going to be number 3 in the division. Somehow the Browns are going to beat the Ravens out in the division.
Absolutely not.
I'm thinking to myself like, bro, this is Vegas. This is bettors. These are there's multiple people out there saying
the Browns could have Patrick Mahomes under center and they still wouldn't do shit.
I don't know about that.
Well, I mean,
it's a little reach though. It is a little.
No, I mean, I wouldn't say. We gotta look at. Wait. We gotta look at.
But
no, Patrick Mahomes went to a great team with a great coach, a proven coach in Andy Reid. Now, what proven coach in the last 10 years that the Cleveland Browns has had?
Hold on. So you're telling me if you put Patrick Mahomes on the worst team, whether it be the Panthers or the Texans, you put Patrick Mahomes on that team this year, they go into the playoffs, guaranteed.
Because if you look at their roster is better than the Cleveland Browns roster right now.
Oh no, I'm saying bull crap.
Wait, who's the head coach in Carolina?
The only two best offensive weapons that the Cleveland Browns have is Nick Chubb and Amari Cooper. Other than that, who else?
Okay, so the only person I will actually defend is David Njoku. That is it.
He's an underrated tight end, but I wouldn't say him as a weapon. As a weapon, he's a low bottom, like he's a number 10 on the tight end list, at least.
Hell, the only two people they have on defense is Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward. That's it.
That's
it.
So all around for me, I feel like if Carolina would have kept DJ Moore, then I would have said they was better. I say Cleveland might have a better roster than Carolina.
Yeah, but he in the Windy City, baby.
They got Marquise Goodwin.
Who are the Panthers?
Yeah,
Marquise Goodwin. He's been good.
They got Peoples Jones. Peoples Jones.
I see what you did there.
Okay, People Jones. Yeah,
he's that underrated wide receiver.
I was gonna say he's a homer. Anytime they play on their home field, bro. He has kicked our ass.
He's all right.
He doesn't get the respect and recognition that he rightfully deserves. That man is a baller.
He doesn't get the targets he deserves. I'll be honest.
There you go.
Because you're telling me you target him 5 times a game and all 5 of those he catches. You know what I'm saying? Why aren't you targeting him more? But at the same time, I'll be happy that they don't, because bro burned our ass up a couple times for over 100 yards, and he's only been in the league for what, like 4 years.
So question me this: who has the better weapons, Pittsburgh or Cleveland?
No, he's been in the league for like 3 years.
No, I'm
Pittsburgh by a landslide.
No, I'm asking Mac that. Who has the better weapons, Cleveland or Pittsburgh?
Oh well, you got to give it to Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh's got 2 wide receivers and a running back and a tight end.
They got Deontay Johnson doing that tennis ball workout.
I have Cleveland being in the bottom 4 of that division. I have Cleveland being the 4th team in that division.
Pickens. What was it?
George Pickens is a dog.
Yep.
Bro, hands
Dude
down.
went to Georgia. He obviously got to be a dog.
Listen, I'm going to say this. Like, I'm not going to say he plays like Antonio Brown, but it's a close reminder. It's a close reminder.
But
he's a better version of Antonio Brown.
Yeah, but he's bigger than Antonio Brown wide receiver wise. He's kind of bigger than him muscle wise.
He's only been in the league for what? This is his 2nd year?
Third, about his 3rd, because he was injured his 1st year.
Okay, well, so still technically his 2nd year playing.
Yeah, technically.
So yeah, I mean, dude, I'm telling you right now, I would be surprised if he doesn't put up at least decent numbers again.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
I think the Pittsburgh Steelers wide receivers is an underrated duo. They're an underrated duo as far as the wide receiver list goes.
Well,
they're very underrated.
I'll say this. I think the reason why they're an underrated duo is because of the quarterback. That's why.
But Pickett looked good though. I'm sorry. I think
again. Hey, listen, I'm a football guy.
Kid is developing.
I understand. It's the eye test. He passes the eye test.
Yes.
A lot of people.
The kid is developing.
Like it doesn't make sense. Like you trying to nitpick and overanalyze shit that doesn't need to be analyzed.
True.
He is one of the many quarterbacks that is going to have an incredible jump this year. That he's on the list of many quarterbacks that are like, who's expected to make a big jump? I honestly think Kenny Pickett is going to be one of them.
Yeah, I think he's going to take that leap this year. I think they're going to take that leap, but I still have Cincinnati, Baltimore, then Pittsburgh, then Cleveland. That's how I have my 4 in the AFC North. Yep. Until Baltimore prove me different, then I could be like, okay, they run the AFC North.
Yep.
I mean,
to that time,
did we not kick the shit out of the Cincinnati Bengals when Lamar Jackson played them? Yeah,
I get it. I get it. But the last 2 years, they have won the last couple of years. Cincinnati has been running the division until proven different.
Yeah. Ultimately, it is coming down to Baltimore and Cincinnati this year.
Exactly. It's going to be out of them 2 who's going to win the division. I don't see Pittsburgh winning the division no time soon because they're still young. But they're up and coming. Don't underestimate them.
I understand everybody keep looking at Joe Burrow and their offense. Like, yeah, their offense lights out, absolutely. But look at that defense.
Yeah, I mean
Can you name 3?
I mean, you really can't name 3. But can you name 3?
I can only name 1. What's his name? What's his fucking name? Something Hubbard. He's a defensive end.
Him and what's the other guy? Hendricks too, right? That was on the opposite side of him.
Hendricks is down with the Saints. He's been with the Saints for like 2 years now.
Okay. So you talking about Hubbard? I know who you talk about, but
Sam Hubbard. He's an edge rusher.
Sam Hubbard. That's
but,
it.
I mean, but if you look at it, right? I mean,
Chad.
can we really name outside of Chris Jones that was great for the Kansas City Chiefs defense? I mean, let's keep it real. And they won the championship. I'm just saying. You really don't if you know how to coach up a defense and you know how to coach your players up, you don't really need star-studded players to win Super Bowls as a defense these days because everything's about the offense. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yes and no. Because the whole thing is like, bro, if nobody's defense makes any stops, then it's going to be a high-scoring game like it was in the Super Bowl and shit. Like, no, to me, I hate a high-scoring game. That means you suck at fucking football.
I like a high scoring game, but not too high. If it's in the 20s, I'm fine with that. Like 21, like 21, 23 or some shit like that. I'm not looking for 28 to 31. I'm not looking for that. But I mean, you're going to get that.
A perfect example is the Kansas City Chiefs and LA Rams when the final score was like 51-48 or some shit.
Even though
clearly the
defense sucked.
The defense has sucked, but at the same time, they still got like pick sixes, fumble recoveries, return for a touchdown. Mm-hmm. But completely agree. They still fucking sucked in that game. It was an offensive fueled game.
But speaking of defenses, we could definitely get into it now because it says 7 teams that may have shut down defenses in 2023. And Mac, your Baltimore Ravens is not on this list, surprisingly.
Oh, that's not surprising.
It's not surprising? Because I know because
all of our edge rushers are unproven.
Only reason why I say that because Baltimore, when you think of the Baltimore Ravens, you think of defense and running the football. That's just the natural identity of the Baltimore Ravens. So that's why I said that, like, the Baltimore Ravens is not on this list. But I'm gonna run through this list real quick of the people that they have. I'm gonna go from 7 to 1 real quick. And they have the Washington Commanders at 7, the 49ers at 6, the Eagles at 5, the Jets at 4, the New Orleans Saints at 3, Dallas Cowboys at 2, and the Buffalo Bills as 1 that may be shut down defenses in 2023.
Who the fuck made this list?
His name is Maurice Moulton of the Bleacher Report.
Oh my God, I'll put the fucking Commanders in the top 5 at least, and the Niners at number 1, just because of Nick Bosa alone.
Okay, so I just want so the Chiefs defense last year, right? So it was Chris Jones, Derek Nandy, right? Nick Bolton, right? You had Willie Gay.
Is going to be in question this year without Chris Jones.
You had Willie Gay Jr., right?
Who?
Willie Gay Jr., cornerback.
Never heard of him.
Dude,
maybe he's related to Rudy Gay.
Well, I don't know, but he's a good slot cornerback. I know that. Carlos Dunlap, Kendall Blanton. I mean, and then it kind of falls off from there. But
well,
I mean,
Carlos Dunlap is definitely out of his prime in this moment. Mm-hmm. He got picked up very late. He got picked up very late. He was a free agent for at least 9 weeks until he got picked up by the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, no, he's a situational pass rusher. But yes. I just, you know what I mean? After looking at the roster, I was like, okay, there was a handful of names that I know. So, you know what I mean? It wasn't like nobody.
What was their ranking overall as a defense? They wasn't even a top. I don't think they was a top 10 defense.
Hey, so real quick, where were the Dallas Cowboys on that list?
The Dallas Cowboys was number 2 on this list.
The fuck out of here.
I mean, as far as that could be a shutdown defense. That may be a shutdown defense.
I would probably put him at 4 or 5, just because of Trayvon Diggs. I mean, dude, AV looking like he could be another version of Eli Apple, but it's mostly centered around Micah Parsons.
Bro, when I tell you, if I was a quarterback and wide receiver that had good chemistry, we would be bait and switching that motherfucker every other goddamn play. I want you to come up. I want you to like literally attack like you're coming towards the ball and then cut that motherfucker up, bro. And every time, as soon as you cut back and I go to fake that motherfucker, he gonna jump that route. You gonna take off wide the fuck open.
Straight facts,
bro. He's got burnt multiple times that same exact motherfucker way. That's all I would be doing. I would be bait and switching his ass.
Yep.
So it's okay to keep the New Orleans Saints and the Jets at 3 and 4.
The Jet, where are they at?
The Jets is number 4 and the Saints is 3.
Jets are understandable at 3. They do have some weapons, being Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner, and I really think that they could honestly make some noise this year.
Now, we all know the New Orleans Saints defense has always been good. They always been like a top 5, top 6 defense. So
yeah,
I'm not mad at them at being at number 3, but having Dallas at 2, I think that defense is a bit overrated, in my opinion. It's a bit over. Michael Parsons is a dog. I like Michael Parsons, but Trayvon Diggs is good too. But it's the rest of that defense that is suspect to me.
Who's number 1?
Buffalo. That's what I'm saying. I would at least put San Francisco number 1 on that fucking list.
San Francisco should have been 1 or 2, one or the other.
Exactly. They got some fucking weapons on that.
But the question is, what is going on with Nick Bosa in his contract situation? That's the problem.
How the fuck are the Eagles not on here?
They're number 5.
Okay.
How the fuck are they number 5? Man, how the fuck is Dallas on this list and the Commanders are not? Like,
Commanders are number 7 on his list.
Oh, I thought you said it was the top 5.
No, top 7. It's the Commanders at 7, 49ers at 6, actually. Eagles is at 5, Jets is at 4, Saints is at 3, Dallas 2, and Buffalo is at 1.
Yep.
You take those first 3 teams and move them all the way to the back.
Facts.
I wouldn't say that for the Saints. I wouldn't say no. I'm not saying that for the Saints. The Saints has been a top 5 defense for the last couple of years. I keep them at 3. I will keep them at 3, but 1 and 2 gotta go.
I mean, the Redskins front line, you got Jonathan Allen and DeMarin Payne.
If we're playing fantasy,
oh my God.
and
assuming Chase Young stays healthy, oh, watch out.
But I like what the Saints, they still got Cam Jordan, they still got Marcus May, they got Tyrann Mathieu, they got Lattimore, they got what's the guy in the middle? Demario something, I forgot.
Davis.
Oh my God, they have a nice defense, and their defense always been good. They just always had a terrible quarterback after Drew Brees. That's the problem with the Saints.
Yeah,
their defense always been up there.
They might have something with Derek Carr though.
Hey, man,
but it's honestly
I'm not allowed to talk about Derek Carr anymore as a Raiders fan. I'm not allowed to. So,
but it's also assuming that Michael Thomas stays healthy.
That's another thing too. Yep.
So I'm gonna just say
they got Olave. It don't matter. Olave will carry that motherfucking team.
Very true. So I'm gonna just say this: we talked about offense, we talked about defense, we talked about offense, and we're also talking about Derek Carr being quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. Now the Washington Redskins were number 7 on the list of best shutdown defenses in the league. However, I never got the chance to talk about this because of work. However, since 2017, 2018, since Kirk Cousins was the last starting quarterback to start 16 games for the Redskins, they have had 12 different starting quarterbacks since Kirk Cousins.
Well, how many is that after Kirk Cousins or it's
after Kirk Cousins? How many can y'all name?
It's like imagine being the Browns with a couple of rings.
Yeah. How many quarterbacks can y'all name? Because you will not believe some of the names on this list.
I know Carson Wentz is one of them.
Yep.
Taylor Heineke is one of them.
Yes, sir.
Colt McCoy's in there a couple times.
Yeah, Colt McCoy got it.
He's in there a couple times. The before and the after.
Colt McCoy had 2 starts.
But he's in there, so that's what
he's in there.
That's 3.
Yep.
Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah,
There you
Dwayne
go.
Haskins.
Yes,
That's
sir.
4. I wouldn't say no. That's before Kirk Cousins. I was gonna say RG3, but that's before Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. So
shit.
here's an obvious hint. This guy won Comeback Player of the Year because he had 12 different surgeries on his knee.
Alex Smith.
There you go.
Alex Smith was another one.
That's 5.
Damn.
It really makes you
12
think.
quarterbacks? That's
12.
That's crazy.
You will not believe this fucking list.
Oh, just say the rest of
Is
it then.
Patrick on that list?
Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Yes, he is.
That's 6. Here we go.
Okay, so we got Alex Smith, Colt McCoy, the dude with easily the most embarrassing play in NFL history. I only need 2 words to say it.
Mark Sanchez? Butt fumble?
Yes.
Mark Sanchez was the commander? Wait, when?
Yep. He started one game as a Redskins quarterback. So we got Alex Smith, Colt McCoy, Mark Sanchez, Dwayne Haskins, Taylor Heineke, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Carson Wentz, obviously Sam Howell.
Mm-hmm.
You will not believe the names of the next 4 guys. We got Josh Johnson.
He's the Ravens right now.
Yep. Kyle Allen.
I forgot about Cal. I forgot.
We at 10?
Yeah, we had 10.
Garrett Gilbert. Let's see. Josh Johnson, Sanchez. Oh. Did I say Case Keenum?
No.
Case Keenum. Wait,
The dude with the Minneapolis Miracle.
Oh my God, that is insane.
Yes. Some of these names are like, wow.
Well, Case Keenum is like Brian Hoyer. They play for all 32 NFL team shows.
Yeah. Case Keenum started 8 games. Oh my, some of the starts that these quarterbacks had is insane. But at the same time, it's also like, yo, Snyder, what the fuck are you doing?
That's what happens when you keep franchise tagging a quarterback like Kirk Cousins. That's the problem.
I mean, Kirk Cousins was him, but Taylor Heineke was another version of Kirk Cousins when he started.
Yeah. And they ain't want to do nothing with him either. So
unfortunately.
So hopefully this new regime for Washington, they could do what they do. But yeah, this list of top that's supposed to be shut down defenses, terrible list.
Oh my God.
Terrible list. I think the teams are right, but the placing is wrong.
There it is.
The teams are right, but the placing is wrong.
I think 2 of those teams can get completely fucked off of this list.
So what team would you take off, and what defense would you put in?
I mean, Buffalo. Buffalo's I'm taking that defense the fuck out all day long.
So who are you putting them in? Who you replacing them with?
I mean, I would replace them with fucking LA. Like that's how little I feel about the Buffalo.
Wait, Rams or Chargers? Which one?
Rams.
Well, that's assuming Aaron Donald stays healthy.
See, I would have. You know what? I would have did the Chargers over the Rams, though.
I'll agree.
The Chargers are better defense than the Rams right now. Even though Aaron Donald is the best defensive player in the league, don't get me wrong, but the defense is not great.
Their secondary is improved. I've been watching a lot of the what is it called? It's a practice camp on YouTube. And it flips between each of the teams, like all 32 teams. It'll be like it'll shoot like a highlight reel of this practice, highlight reel of that practice, then it'll go through the teams so you can see bits and what's going on. Bro, their defense, I watched them shut down their offense 5 straight fucking plays. Like their wide receivers were looking a little upset. So when I tell you, and again, and this is playing at maybe 80% out there, you know what I mean, on most plays. So to see that, dude, I was surprised. Seeing them linebackers flip and get through the holes, I was like, oh shit. Like, I think there's hope for LA. But like I said, that's one of the underdog teams. I mean, you've got a couple other teams looking through. I mean,
yeah, they're definitely an underdog team, especially
the Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers, they're another really underrated fucking defense.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, with Todd Bowles being the head honcho or the head coach,
I know their defense will be good.
Yeah, defensively they'll be good. But as long as Todd Bowles remains a head coach in the NFL,
He does not have winning records as a coach. He does not have a winning record as a coach in his career as a head coach.
To quote MJF, any team he goes to is going to be mid.
Yeah.
I mean, but at the same time, though, he really I haven't seen an organization give him the keys. You know what I'm saying? And really,
they gave who the keys?
Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles had a few head coaching jobs that gave him the keys.
No.
The Jets.
What do you mean? Even the Jets did not give him the keys. The Jets did not let him draft who he wanted.
So he didn't have the freedom to be like, hey, I want this guy on the team, but the front office was like, no, we're going with this guy.
No, it's not even the front office, it's the GM. The GM is the one who makes the choice on what players get drafted, what players get signed, what contracts get done. That's the GM. That is not the head coach. That's what I'm saying. Like, you have a few head coaches that have their GM's ear, or that are the GM, or that have some GM responsibilities when it comes to that. But most coaches in the NFL, no fucking way, bro.
But
GM, front office, same difference.
Hold up, though.
A staple for the franchise.
Let me say this then.
A temporary thing in some people's eyes.
Let me say this then, though. We just talked about it, Mac, the other day about what stipulations you want in your contract. If you're Todd Bowles and you're getting interviewed for these jobs and these contracts is being offered, why you don't put that in your contract stating, oh, you want some part of the drafting and stuff of that nature? Because Andy Reid, I'm not even Andy Reid, but there's a few coaches out there that's in their contract that have their say so when it comes to drafting or going to get players.
Absolutely.
So if you're Todd Bowles and you've been in the league for so long, why are you not initiating this in your contract?
And I'll tell you why. Because he doesn't have the clout. Like you just said, he got a losing record everywhere you go. Nah, man, you got to prove to me that you can win with what we got, and then we can take your input and we can build off of that. And that's the problem with some of the coaching jobs, is because they don't have a great roster, so they have to try to figure out how they can make shift. You know, and that's why I said, like, not all head coaching jobs are meant to succeed. It's just not. There's 32 teams in the league. There's only one fucking winner of the Super Bowl. Okay, so I mean, there's only one success story truly every year. That like the one big success story is who wins the fucking Super Bowl. Now, you're gonna have some great feel-good stories on guys who made it to the Pro Bowl, or guys who made it to the playoffs, or some sneaky teams that won a couple games in the playoffs. Like, there's gonna be like good motivation for the next year, but at the same time, it's like, look at Tomlin. You know what I mean? And that's my vice versa. Tomlin has always had decent talent, but Tomlin is a fucking amazing coach.
Yep.
And he teaches players to coach up. You know what I'm saying? Versus Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles doesn't have the freedom, and he has to try to coach at his players. So you're gonna get where they're at. That's what you're gonna get.
So, like I said, I mean, with Todd Bowles with Mike Tomlin, if you look up the definition of consistency, you're going to see a picture of him. With Todd Bowles, I feel like he's a head coach version of Lamar Jackson. He should have somebody by his side saying, like, yo, you need to incorporate this in your contract, because if you know talent when you see it, you should let the front office and the GM know, like, hey, I see potential in this guy. We should take a chance on him. But that's not the case with him. The dude had Tom Brady under center, and they lost to the Rams.
But let me say this, though. Let me say this, though. It shows that everybody can't be a head coach either. That's the thing. Todd Bowles is a great defensive coordinator, but not a great head coach. So when you look at like, I don't want to throw my coach under the bus, and that's Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels is a prime example of you want to be a coordinator or you want to be a head coach. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt this year because this is his second tender as a coach in his first year head coach for the Raiders, and now he's going into his second year. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but we saw Todd Bowles be successful as a defensive coordinator in this league, but not great as a head coach in this league. So for me, I understand that you want to move up and you want to have that head honcho job and you want to make more money. I get it. But some people are just meant to be fucking coordinators, and Todd Bowles is one of those coordinators that just need to be a coordinator and not a head coach.
Yep. I mean, look at Josh McDaniels, for example.
I was just talking about that.
Yep. Like, granted, he had a shit show when he came to Denver, and they were just going through multiple quarterbacks at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, when he went to Vegas and Derek Carr was supposed to be the main guy, it was like, okay, you're going into a better system than you did than the fucking shit show in Denver that you went into. And now they're having to rely on Jimmy freaking Garoppolo, who could be a goddamn male stripper in Las Vegas if he wanted to.
Listen, God forbid anything happened to Jimmy Garoppolo. I want him to play the full season. But if not, I am very impressed with Aiden O'Connell as a Raiders fan. I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed with how he played in his preseason. But, you know, I'm giving McDaniels the benefit of the doubt. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Hey,
if we can win at least 7 games this year, 7 or 8 games this year, I'm fine with that because that's called progression.
Hey, y'all still got Devontae Adams.
True. I get it. But I just really hope that if we go out to a 20-10 lead, we don't blow that shit. You know what I'm saying? We blew 6 leads last year. 6.
I'm gonna be honest.
One of them was to Baker Mayfield, who literally studied the playbook for about 24 hours.
So that wasn't our offense, but that was damn well our defense that did that.
So I have a question for you, right, D-Hop? So if the Broncos offered 2 first-round, 2 second-round picks, and say linebacker or a defensive end, somebody you needed on the defensive side of the ball for Devontae Adams, would you feel good about that? 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and a defensive player.
No, because you already gave up a first round to get Devontae Adams.
But
I wouldn't give up. I wouldn't do it, man. I wouldn't do it.
I mean, I'm excited to see what Max Crosby does this year.
Well, that's so the reason why I say that is because especially like if you get like towards the trade deadline, and you know what I mean, the team isn't really progressing in a way you want to.
That's only if Devontae Adams asks for a trade, though.
It's future. I'm just thinking about the Raiders' future to build on and to keep going. Like and then you're stocking your draft capital. So now you're able to move up, move down the draft. You're able to get guys that you actually want with the new regime and the new coach.
But if you look at next year's draft, if you look at the draft picks that we have now, I think we got 2 firsts already. I don't want to get, even though what I don't know what draft picks that we have, but I know we got 2 firsts this year. I know we got a few seconds, a few thirds. But last year we had this. Matter of fact, not last year, but this past year in the draft, we had 11 picks. One of them was in the first round at 7. So I don't want to give up 2 first. If we have 2 first round picks, I don't want to give up that. I just don't. Yep. I don't want to give up that because it's a talented draft class coming out next season at all positions. So, I mean, not getting a draft pick in the first round is really going to kill the Raiders at this moment.
I'm going to just say this.
But if Devontae Adams does request a trade, I don't know what the trade would be about, but I just don't want them to give up any first round picks. It has to be some type of second, like multiple seconds or something of that nature. I'm not giving up no first round picks to trade for Devontae Adams. I'm just not. That's because your first round is kind of like your future starters in the league. So for me, I'm just not doing
They would give you first round picks for Devontae Adams.
I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
It really depends on what Devontae Adams want at that time.
So let's put it this way: what first-round picks do the Raiders have for next year?
I think right now we have 2 first-round picks.
Well, like,
2.
is there?
We don't know
any...
the actual draft order yet.
Okay.
So, because the draft order really don't happen until like the regular season starts, and with the records and stuff of that nature, it goes in order. Like you got the worst record, then whatever you have there. So we had the 7th worst record last year.
I was gonna say. So imagine, God forbid this fucking happens. Imagine Caleb Williams falls down to the spot that the Raiders actually have.
That's gonna be tough because we drafted a quarterback this year and draft a quarterback next year. We drafted Aiden O'Connell in the 4th round. Aiden O'Connell came out of Purdue. Watching. Telling you, the guy is a prototypical quarterback. He's a pro-style quarterback.
Yeah.
So
Purdue are dogs.
They're dogs at quarterback. I mean, only reason why I know about Aiden O'Connell because he demolished my Tennessee Volunteers in the Music City Bowl. They didn't demolish them, but it was a hell of a bowl game. But he had about 500 passing yards on my Tennessee Volunteers. So that's how I knew who Aiden O'Connell was.
I'm gonna just say this: if you face Wake Forest or Purdue in a night game, and both teams are wearing all black,
it's over.
You're losing.
You're losing. But
tell me,
I like Aiden O'Connell. I don't think we will go back-to-back quarterbacks in the draft. I just don't think we do that.
That's fair.
I don't get me wrong. Caleb Williams is a talent. Don't get me wrong. Like you got Sam Hartman that's coming out next year too. That's coming from transfer from he was at Wake Forest and went to Notre Dame. He transferred to Notre Dame. Sam Hartman. So he's another good quarterback that's coming out. So I don't think the Raiders would draft another quarterback. I just don't think so.
Yeah, but would you really put your faith in Aiden O'Connell versus a guy like Caleb Williams, who is a very heavy favorite Heisman Trophy winner this upcoming year?
I get it, but I know how Josh McDaniels likes his quarterbacks.
True.
So if you look at, you see why they went out and got Jimmy Garoppolo. He has that thing with Josh McDaniels.
He also learned under Tom Brady.
Aiden O'Connell looks. I mean, I'm not saying like play wise, but looks like a Tom Brady style quarterback. He looks like that physically. So I mean, like, what about what fits the system for Josh McDaniels for the Raiders?
Right.
Unfortunately.
Right.
So yeah, that's just how I see it, and I just can't wait. I just want us to beat up on the donkeys, please.
So I got my tickets. I'm going to see the Orioles on Tuesday.
What?
Who are they going to play?
The White Sox.
Oh, that's going to be a good game.
I think it's the White Sox. Hold on 1 second.
That's going to be a good series.
But we down to our final topic, and the final topic. I forgot to put this up there about Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Oh yeah,
explain. Come on, spill the beans, James. Spill the beans, James. Go ahead, man.
It's a night game too.
Oh my,
that's awesome.
Oh, night baseball games just hit differently when you go there.
Upper deck right behind the plate. Upper deck right behind the plate.
Those are some good seats. All right, I'm gonna just say this. So, what was it? 2021, the Bucks won the NBA championship. And obviously Giannis was the finals MVP. So Giannis is basically telling the Bucks front office, the head coach, the players, like, hey, we need to be on the same page to compete for a championship this year.
Right.
If we can't be, I'm walking in the next year or two. So essentially Giannis gave the Bucks a 1-year free trial of like, hey, prove to me that we can get on the same page, compete for a championship, win another championship, and I'm finals MVP. Unfortunately, the fucking Bucks front office is acting like SpongeBob in that episode where he goes to the chum bucket. Like, they're basically like, nah, we already won a championship. We don't really feel like winning another one. Like, the Bucks have arguably one of the best big men in basketball right now, that if LeBron retires, Giannis could draw a fucking crowd, depending on which team he goes to, that is. If they waste his prime years the same way that the Tennessee Titans are wasting the prime years of Derrick Henry, in another year or two, Giannis is wanting out of Milwaukee. And it's not even close.
Now, it really depends with me. What are you going to put around Giannis to get back to that championship caliber team?
Yep.
What do you?
It looked like they put the same shit. They put the same shit.
As of right now, they did. As of now, they did.
Yes, since 2021, they've had the same roster.
Besides Drew Holiday, I mean, they did bring in Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday was an acquisition a couple years ago.
He was a helping hand that helped the Bucks win the championship. Yes.
That's that like the scales are like this. He put some scales to tip, but they're just sitting like this.
But
nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed. And at the end of the day, I'm really surprised that Milwaukee Bucks even re-signed Chris Middleton, because me personally,
yep,
ever since Chris Middleton got hurt, he has not been the same caliber player that he was before he got hurt. And the way that the Milwaukee Bucks just paid him in free agency this year, he was overly paid.
I mean, Giannis literally said, I am not going to sign an extension if y'all are just going to – I'm not willing to play 20 years and just have one championship under my belt. And I will damn sure sign no freaking extension if I'm not going to win anymore.
Right.
Like, I mean, he's in the prime years of his life, set up to win another championship, and like.
But this is an organization in the Milwaukee Bucks that did the same thing to Ray Allen. Let's go all the way back there. Like they never changed nothing. Even when they had Ray Allen there, they doing the same thing with Giannis. Why you think Ray Allen left Milwaukee and went to Seattle? I mean, let's keep it real. You know,
or like he even went to friggin' Boston and won a ring. He went to Miami and won another ring. He has one of the most iconic shots in finals history.
Agreed.
Which one? He's got one with the Boston Celtics, and he's got one.
I think the one with Miami was more iconic.
Yeah, unfortunately, the one where he was in Miami, and it was. Oh, I was so hyped because I thought San Antonio was going to take that series in Miami.
Yeah.
And then along comes Ray Allen.
I picked San Antonio in that series. I was like, damn it, Ray Allen, you bald-headed mother, you milk dud looking. I was calling him all types of names that day. Oh, my God.
Like, thank God.
That sounded like a Heat fan.
No.
Well, I wasn't
thank God.
Fan. At that time, I wasn't.
I know.
Thank fucking God the Chicago Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup that year in one of the greatest Stanley Cup series I have ever seen in my entire life. 2 goals in 17 seconds. Yes, the Miami Heat won the championship that year and had to deal with like, oh, LeBron finally won a ring. He did this. He did that. He's excelled himself in the greatest of all time conversation with Michael Jordan. No. Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time when you compare LeBron to him, and it's not even within LeBron, shouting distance.
But at the end of the day, I thought. Oh, go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
To me, and I've said this before, you need to compare Magic Johnson and LeBron James, not Michael Jordan. Kobe Bryant was the comparison to Michael Jordan.
Right.
Yes.
There's levels to this shit, and there's different abilities to do certain things. Yep. To me, you watch the highlight reels of Magic Johnson. You turn around and watch the highlight reels of LeBron James, and you're like, holy shit, it's the same guy.
It's virtually the same.
Now, the games are very identical.
You watch the highlights of Michael Jordan. You watch him play. You watch all that. Then you go and you turn around and you watch Kobe. The biggest thing is Michael and Kobe did the one thing that somehow superstars feel like they don't need to do anymore. Just play defense.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
Facts. Talk about it. Talk about
it.
And my whole thing is, and that's the one thing I try to get people to understand. Like you're talking about, LeBron would crush Michael Jordan 1-on-1. He's too little, bro.
No, the fuck he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't.
Let me just say this:
LeBron James a hard fucking time every single time.
People have to understand when Michael Jordan played, hand check was allowed.
Yes.
Hand check was allowed. Physical play was allowed when Jordan was playing. You was not 3 seconds in the 3 defensive seconds in the lane was not in when Jordan was playing. You had your big man protecting the basket inside the lane at that time.
Listen, what I'm saying is, right?
Hello.
You give Jordan 3 steps, LeBron is not stopping.
Nope.
Right? You give LeBron 3 steps, Michael Jordan's coming after that ball.
But it's not even that though. It's not even that. You got to think of the era when Jordan played, how dominant the centers was when Jordan was playing. He had to go up when he dropped to the basket. He had to earn every goddamn layup and every goddamn dunk that Jordan had. Now in the NBA,
physically defensive it was.
Exactly.
Look at the bad boys.
You see how easy it is now to drive to the basket and dunk. Because you know why? They have that 3 defensive seconds in the lane now where they should take that fucking rule out.
Yup.
And I'm telling you, it'll be so much difficult for players to drive to the basket now if your center was able to stay under the basket.
I'm gonna say this.
That's a good rule. That's a good rule because of that simple fact. So you tell me you just stand one big motherfucker in the middle of the paint, just stand there with his hands up?
No, not even that. Not even that. When you're playing like a 2-3 or 3-2 zone defense. When you play in a zone defense now in a 3-2, your center cannot even stay inside the lane because of the 3 defensive seconds in the lane. When you're playing man-to-man defense, that's different. When you're playing man-to-man defense, you're man-to-man.
All you're doing is the cha-cha slide as a big man. Keep 1 foot out of the
I get that, but like you slide back and forth, but then when you slide over, they got an easy way to the basket. Like I'm just not a big fan of defensive 3 seconds, man. I think it's too easy to earn baskets.
As long as you keep 1 foot out of the paint, you're safe.
I'm gonna just say this though, in one of the most controversial takes that I have ever seen when it comes to LeBron versus MJ, it was when Jalen Rose and Jason Williams. Ooh, this pot stirring motherfucker. Jason Williams loves to stir that pot, man.
He loves to stir the pot. He's such a troll.
Oh, he really is. So I think it was during the time that it was like 2015, 2016 or something like that. And it was like, has LeBron done enough to solidify himself as putting himself up there with Michael Jordan? And they were talking about doing like a one-on-one game. And Jay Will, in typical fashion, he's like, you could not tell me LeBron James wouldn't beat Michael Jordan one-on-one.
Let me say this about Jay Williams.
Let me say this. The amount of composure it took for Jalen Rose to just keep it and not reach across that desk and strangle. Like,
let me say this.
As soon as he said it, he looked over like
Jalen Rose was ready to smack the black off of Jason Williams.
Don't mean the greatest to ever fucking do it. Michael Jordan gonna get clamped up.
And Jalen, both guys that played against Michael Jordan.
Number one, Jay Williams, you didn't have a career as a Chicago Bull because you wanted to be in motorcycles. So who are you to say any goddamn thing? The best years of your basketball career was at Duke University. Let's keep it a buck. How are you to say anything about Michael Jordan or anything of that nature when you really didn't have an NBA career to begin with?
I think the only reason he said that was because he went to Duke, MJ went to UNC, and we all know how.
Oh yeah, that.
We all know the kind of rivalry that those two colleges are. It's essentially like Auburn versus Alabama.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of these guys do it for hot takes. He just wants to create a hot take. Let's be real here. Come on, man. Like,
but
We've seen it time and time again. Like it's always going to be on one of everybody's list. It's going to be Jordan versus LeBron, but it never was and never will be.
No. I'm gonna just say this though. Mike Greenberg brought up the best statement that I have ever heard, and this dude takes more time off than I've ever seen when it comes to like the sports talking industry. So he was like, if they played each other one-on-one, LeBron loses, it's like, all right, good game, man. Hey, we had fun. We did this. We did that. Jordan loses. He will die on that court until he gets a win.
Yeah.
Like, their mentalities are not the same.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're putting the style of play up against each other, like, yes, LeBron is bigger, but when did that stop Michael Jordan before?
Never.
Dominique Wilkins, much bigger than Michael Jordan. They matched up against head-to-head. Sean Kemp. There's multiple highlights where Michael Jordan makes Sean Kemp look like a goddamn fool. And you're not going to tell me that Sean Kemp isn't at least as physical as as LeBron James.
Agreed.
So, again, it's like, look at Magic Johnson. Michael Jordan cooked up Magic Johnson multiple times.
Facts.
Okay.
So it was even during, what was it, the 75th All-Star game that Magic Johnson jokingly was like, hey, what do you feel about doing a one-on-one game right now? Jordan was like, let's go. Like, whoa. Jordan had that facial expression like, let's go. Let's go. I will take you on right now.
Whoa. We have some breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. The Dallas Cowboys are in process of completing a trade for number 3 overall pick Trey Lance to the Dallas Cowboys.
Congratulations, you're playing backup again, motherfucker.
How much?
I'm about to read everything to you.
Third round pick.
Dude wants to be a starter. He's still a backup.
Hold up. So it says that the 49ers are sending their former 3rd overall pick Trey Lance to the Dallas Cowboys for a mid-round per sources. Lance now gets a fresh start in Dallas. Adam Schefter did state that Trey Lance is still owed $940,000 for his remainder of the 2023 and a $5.3 million in 2024, which is all guaranteed from Dallas. And the Cowboys also have the ability to decide on Lance's 5th-year option in 2025. Now, Tom Pelissero puts that the compensation they are trading a 2024 4th-round pick to the 49ers for Trey Lance per search. So technically it's a 4th-round pick for Trey Lance.
That was close.
I'm going to say this right now. Dak Prescott, if you do not perform this year, your career is over in Dallas. I'm sorry to say.
Okay, I'm going to just say Trey Lance would have a better chance of being a starting quarterback in the NFC South or the NFC West.
But it's crazy, though, because, like, they just stated earlier, like, not like a couple hours ago before, like, right before the show started, that Trey Lance was going to start in the preseason week 3 game with the 4. He was going to be the starter for the 49ers preseason.
Dallas said, nah, he going to start for us. He's going to start for us.
So, speaking of Dak, if he doesn't perform, 2-time Super Bowl champion and Derrick Henry, before Derrick Henry, Giants running back Brandon Jacobs was saying if Dak doesn't deliver or he doesn't like help the Cowboys in any way, shape, or form, because his contract does end in 2024?
Yeah, 2024.
Assuming that he goes to another team, he's going to be a backup.
But you think about it. I said this though on Wednesday's show. I said no matter where he goes, I said Trey Lance is going to be a number 2. I don't know what was the situation with the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know how Sam Darnold beat out Trey Lance. I don't know. But
weapons.
We had this talk. We had this talk, the West Coast system. Sam Darnold played what in college? He played in a West Coast offense.
Oh, shit. He played at USC.
He sure did.
So when you know Kyle Shanahan's system like the back of your hand because you've played it multiple years of your football career, you turn around and again, he needs to be somewhere where they play his type of football. Guess what Dallas does? Dallas plays his type of football. Run and shoot, run and shoot. So I mean, bro, he's in a good spot because if he gets a chance to start and he plays his game, he's got a chance.
Yeah.
Very interesting developing story that happened right before our eyes while we was on the show. But quick take before we head out of here, y'all. Quick take. It has been announced that Shannon Sharpe will be joining First Take on starting September 4th. He's not going to be on there every day, but he will be on there Mondays and Tuesdays with Stephen A. Smith. And other reports came out.
Guest host.
And the other reports is that Michael Irvin and Keyshawn Johnson is joining Skip Bayless on FS1 for Undisputed. Now, what are y'all quick thoughts about this? Even though Michael Irvin still has his job at the NFL Network on the morning show, he's going to be part-time with FS1. Between him and Keyshawn Johnson going to be like switching in and out. What are y'all thoughts on all this happening all at one time? Knowing that Keyshawn Johnson got fired for this. Huh?
I will never watch another minute of Skip Bayless, no matter who they put with him.
I'll agree to that. I'll agree to that. How
that,
Shannon Sharpe kept his composure, the amount of times he was disrespected by Shannon Sharpe is beyond me. Or how Shannon Sharpe kept his composure when he was disrespected by Skip Bayless is beyond me.
I'd have hopped my ass off that chair and I'd have slapped the dog shit out of that motherfucker live.
No, I would. No, I would have.
Cut the delay. Cut the delay. Make this shit live. I got a live take for you. Wow.
I would have choked Skip. If I was Shannon Sharpe, I would have choked Skip Bayless out till he was blue in the face.
Bro, they done went to commercial break, ain't even come back. This motherfucker's whole shit would have been swelled up, looked like fucking purple alien.
Facts. I'm gonna just say this though: Shannon Sharpe actually should be ready to actually talk about sports because during the time that it was Skip and Shannon, most of the time it felt like that
it was just arguing.
It was just arguing, but the other 50% was just discussing LeBron versus Jordan. Yeah, and that's it. Like, that was literally the entire show. Yeah, and then the last 5 minutes, it's like, oh, well, you know, this player should be doing this, that, the other, da-da-da-da-da. It's like, no, y'all are a sports talk show. You shouldn't be talking about MJ versus LeBron. You shouldn't be fucking arguing on national television. Granted, you had rare times where you actually got along and actually discussed sports, but yeah,
I'm really surprised that Keyshawn Johnson went to FS1. Like, you could have went to any other place.
I mean, look, he's just trying to get some money,
right? And I forgot to show you, Club Shay Shay is going over to the volume that as far as his podcast go, he's going over to the volume that's under that has Colin Cowher over there. They have a few other podcasters over there. So Club Shay Shay got picked up by the volume. So crazy show today, man. Crazy show. A lot of things dropped down on the pipeline, man. Any final words before we head out of here?
I mean, Michael Irvin better be ready to sweat more than he did on First Take.
First off.
On FS1, because that man gonna be sweating with the amount of yelling that he gonna be doing on Undisputed.
Listen to me. Who is Bayless's favorite team ever? The Cowboys.
The Cowboys, right?
He gonna be sucking Irvin's dick. That motherfucker gonna be holding that motherfucker.
But the thing about it is that Michael
Irvin.
Don't get me wrong, but Michael Irvin does put criticism on the Dallas Cowboys. That's one thing I can say about Michael Irvin. He's going to criticize the fuck out of the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm saying all the criticizing Skip Bayless did to Shannon Sharpe. He's not going to do that to Michael
Irvin. Absolutely not.
Yeah,
No.
so that's what I'm saying. He's going to be sucking his motherfucking dick kicks in his ass. Like he ain't
Michael Irvin could literally say, like, "Oh, we're going to go on a 3-game winning streak." Yeah, they are. That's literally how it will go.
But all right, fellas, my dinner's ready. It's great doing the show with you guys. Peace.
All right, man. So that is it for today's show, man. Episode 66 is in the books for the Darion Hopkins Sports Show. Make sure y'all comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all follow No Mercy Sports on all social media platforms. All the names, No Mercy Sports. And we'll be back here Monday, man, talking some more sports as usual. If you ain't working, long days in Texas, them hot days in Texas, man. So, but it's all love, man. Have a good weekend. I will be doing college football on this channel tomorrow. I will be doing Notre Dame and Navy at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. And then I'll go over to the Nothing But Raiders podcast channel and do Raiders and Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to be happy about that. I'm going to do that at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the Nothing But Raiders podcast. Have a good weekend, everybody. Peace, love, and blessings. And we'll talk more, man, because SmackDown come on tonight in a half hour. So we'll talk more about that behind the scenes. But we out of here, y'all. Peace, love, and blessings, and have a great weekend. And I'll see y'all Monday. We out. This episode of the Darion Hopkins Sports Show is sponsored by SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the #1 platform to browse, discover, and experience best events in town, all in the palm of your hand. From heart-pounding concerts that can make you dance to nail-biting sports games that can keep you on the edge of your seat, SeatGeek has it all. From exclusive deals and personalized recommendations tailored just for you. Use the promo code DHopkins and get $20 off your first purchase. So join the movement. SeatGeek. Get up, get out, and get tickets.